They call it Devil's Crossing, but officially it's just Miller's Bridge, a rusting, one-lane truss bridge on the outskirts of Pine Hollow, Ohio. For decades, teenagers have dared each other to drive across it at midnight, cut the engine, and wait in silence. Some swear they've heard footsteps on the steel beams. Others say they've seen a pale figure in the water below. Most laugh it off as small-town folklore. But not everyone walks away laughing. I didn't believe any of it until I went there myself in the summer of 1997. I was 19, restless, and desperate for something thrilling to break the monotony of a dead-end town. My buddy Chris had an old Ford pickup, and one Friday night, he grinned at me and said, "Let's go to the bridge." We got there just past midnight. The moon hung low and heavy, casting silver over the warped planks. The bridge creaked beneath the truck's tires, metal groaning like it had a voice. Chris killed the engine in the middle, and suddenly everything was swallowed by silence. No frogs, no crickets, no wind, just the sound of our breathing. "That's creepy," I whispered. Chris smirked, but his hand twitched on the wheel. Then it started. At first, it sounded like dripping water. Tap, 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 on the roof of the truck. Chris looked up through the windshield, muttering, "It's probably just condensation." But the air was dry as bone. The tapping grew louder, heavier, until it was unmistakable. Footsteps pacing across the truck roof. We both froze. Neither of us dared move. The steps stopped above the driver's seat, right over Chris's head. Then something scraped, a fingernail, slowly across the metal. Chris cursed, turned the ignition, and floored it. The engine sputtered once, twice, before roaring to life. We shot forward, tires screeching as we barreled off the bridge. When we reached the other side, Chris slammed the brakes. My heart hammered in my chest, but what I saw made my stomach plummet. The rear windshield was covered in streaks, wet, dark smears, like something had dragged its hands across the glass. And the smell, it was sharp, metallic, unmistakable. Blood. We didn't say a word on the way back. We didn't tell anyone either. In Pine Hollow, everyone already had a story about Devil's Crossing, and we didn't want to become another campfire tale. But curiosity gnawed at me. I started digging into the bridge's history. That's when I found out about Mary Whitaker. In 1954, Mary was driving home late after working a double shift at the diner. Witnesses said her car stalled right in the middle of the bridge. A few minutes later, a freight truck barreled through and crushed her vehicle. They say Mary wasn't killed instantly. She crawled out, drenched in blood, trying to drag herself to safety before she collapsed against the steel beams. She died before help arrived. The truck driver swore he never saw her. Locals whispered otherwise. Some said the bridge took her, and that she never really left. From then on, stories spread. Couples making out in their cars said they heard scratching at their windows. Hunters reported seeing a drenched woman staring at them from the riverbank, only to vanish when approached. And drivers, like Chris and me, heard the footsteps. I tried to shake it off, but the memory of that night clung to me. I still smelled the blood in my dreams. Years later, when I was in my 30s, I ran into Chris again. He was married, had kids, and still drove a pickup, though never near the bridge. Over beers, I brought it up. "Do you remember that night?" I asked. His smile vanished. He stared at the table for a long moment, then rolled up his sleeve. His forearm was scarred, 3 long, pale scratches running from his wrist to his elbow. "They appeared the next morning," he muttered. "I didn't tell anyone. Couldn't explain it. They never healed right." That night, I swore I'd never go back. But Pine Hollow has a way of pulling people in. A few summers ago, teenagers posted a video online, shaky footage of them daring each other to park on Miller's Bridge at midnight. At first, it's all laughs and bravado, until the camera catches something moving in the background, a pale figure crawling along the side beams, dripping wet, eyes hollow, dragging itself closer. The video cuts out in static, right before the kids start screaming. The sheriff's department said it was a hoax. But those kids, 3 of them, vanished that night. No bodies, no tracks, nothing but an abandoned car on the far side of the bridge. Now, whenever I drive past the county line, I avoid Pine Hollow altogether. But sometimes I still hear it, late at night, when the world is quiet. Tap, 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 like footsteps overhead. If you ever find yourself in Ohio and someone dares you to stop on Miller's Bridge, take my advice, don't. Because if Mary Whitaker climbs inside your car, you won't be the one telling the story.